Hello and welcome to my first unboxing. I've always been a big fan of Resident Evil 2, the video game. I'm excited for the remake that's just come out. And of course, whenever I heard that there was a board game, I had to have it, especially whenever they said that everything included in the video game, the original, was going to be introduced into the board game in almost a one-to-one version. Now, this is my first unboxing, but I know that people don't like to be kept waiting, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so here we go, the first box. Let's see. So this is the actual full board game here. And let's see what's inside. You get that nice brand new smell coming off it. Always good. And okay, cool. So straight away we've got some nice artwork. Very classic. Everybody knows that. I remember meeting that terrible thing in the corridors of the police station. Okay, we got the rule book. Cool. And that's a nice touch. This game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. Of course, another iconic thing from the video game. Very nice. And we've got our tiles. Let's just make some room here. Okay. So, yeah. You know, they look okay, I guess. Artwork is extremely dark on them. So hopefully you can pick that up okay. Yeah, the artwork is extremely dark. Oh wow, that's supposed to be a door. I've heard people complain about this, that the artwork is far too dark and you can barely see anything. Especially with some of the tiles, like that. I think that's supposed to be stairs. Let me try and get out of the glare. So that's stairs, and that's a door. And what's happening is some people are actually throwing away bits of these tiles, thinking that, you know, they're just, well, nothing at all. Like there, you see, that's just pure black. So you would think that that's just an excess piece that you can just throw away. But it's not, it's the stairs, and you need the stairs in a Resident Evil game to slowly climb up them. Okay, so yeah, I should also mention that these are, you know, they do have artwork on the back, so they relate to different places in the game. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see if I can find any iconic areas. Apologies if I'm coughing a wee bit through this. I'm kind of getting over the flu. So, I mean, straight away we've got there, you know, that's kind of like the beginning of the game. The, you know, burning cars and stuff, and sort of run through the, well, you run through the start of the area. Oddly enough, I'm actually seeing some duplicate artwork already from these tiles, which is a little strange. Let me see, anywhere else noticeable? I mean, all of them kind of look reminiscent of the game. Oh, I know that place. See there, that's the end of the game, pretty much. That's the boss room. I think you've got to escape through there at the end. And what else do we have? We've got some health counters, maybe? I'm not sure what that is. I think there's like a threat counter in the game, so that could be that. A couple of wee health things. Oh, we've got some typewriters there, and a storage box. That's pretty neat. Although, you might see something about that come up later in this video. Okay, so all very nice. And then we've got some more counters. So there's your ammunition counters. You've got ones for different weapons. So your pistol, your magnum, I guess. Not sure what that one is. Maybe grenade launcher. And that's, I think, your SMG. Yeah. Well, it says right there, actually. Wound counters. You've got the health display. That's very similar to the game as well. Luckily, these counters are actually really nice. The artwork really pops on them. Nice and bright and colorful. So that's pretty cool. And you can see, yeah, my camera doesn't have autofocus, so hopefully you'll be able to see that okay. But yeah, it's just like the game. Green to yellow to red. Very nice. Pretty much more of the same. We've got ink ribbons. Again, you might see something coming up later in the video about those. And then we've got the minis. So yeah, just based on the these things here, the actual game tiles aren't great. I think the artwork is fine on them, but they're just way too dark. Far, far too dark, so you miss a lot of the details. And it's kind of redundant if you make the artwork and then you don't really show it off, so I don't know why they did that. I've also got the Dark Souls card game that, what do you call these boyos? SFG also puts out, and sure enough, the artwork in that game is extremely dark too. Not as dark as those tiles, but it's far too dark. I want to see the artwork. If you're gonna, hire someone to make them, then you might as well, well, not black the whole thing out. Oh, this has got tape on it, that's why. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's see these minis then. Try not to get any tape on my tiles, because that'll rip them to shreds. If I can just get this box into the other box. There we go. Okay, so what have we got? We've got cards and we have minis. Straight away, I think they're awesome looking. It's really nice. Let's see. Let's get a zombie out here. Can we get a zombie out? We can get 2 zombies out. So look at that. I'll have to try and digitally zoom in to kind of give you an indication of what these things actually look like. Again, if I go like this, you're not going to be able to see it, because my camera will just blur it. But yeah, there you go. Say 2 wee zombies holding hands. Just like the video game. But yeah, all of these models are actually modeled from the video game versions. Careful to put these guys in because they're a little fragile. We also have Leon. Let's pop out Leon. Yeah, quite nice. It even says RPD in the back, and yep, that definitely looks like Leon. So that's pretty neat. And who else have we got? We've got dogs there. We've got Claire and Eva Wong. I was going to say Ava Wong. Is it Eva or Ava? Jeez, I need to play that game again. And we've got the Tyrant. Or no, is that the Tyrant? No, that's Birkin, isn't it? Birkin, whenever he's transformed. I think his final form. Oh no, not his final form. His final form is coming up later. So there you go. And yeah, that's pretty big. I mean, to give you a comparison. Yeah, it's not looking good for Leon. Okay, pop him back in. Cool. So it's nicely displayed, and there's good color coordination between the good guys and the bad guys kind of thing. We've got mini cards here. So these are all your equipment cards. This one's the handgun, and then you pop that open and you'll see far more of those. Let's see, we've got the, what is this, character cards, I guess? Maybe some sort of event deck as well, I think it is. So you've got the opening door, famous Resident Evil. Let's pop this open. I'm not going to pop open the equipment one just because it's those wee mini American cards, and they're a little bit fiddly. So, there we go. And now I've got plastic in my teeth. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, finally. This is my first unboxing, so of course I've forgotten my scissors. So yeah, there's the Leon, anyway. I'm not too fond of that artwork. I don't know. There's not an awful lot of detail to him there. Again, hopefully my camera will pick it up. Same with Claire, not an awful lot of detail to that picture. But yeah, you've got Robert Kendo as well in this game. He's actually a playable character. He's the guy who owned the gun store at the very beginning. Oh, what are all these? What's this thing here? Oh yeah, there's a better picture actually there in the back of the way the characters look. So, yeah. Wait, what? Oh, okay, that's weird. Actually, a really weird thing is on the Claire Redfield card, Eva Wong's on the back. So, okay. And then Robert Kendo's is just a umbrella symbol. I don't know. That's odd. And then we have our sort of our tension deck. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the sort of tension and event deck stuff. So this one says, all clear. The wind scratches across empty streets. Loose detritus, the only movement in the merciful stillness. So it's just random crap blowing around, I guess. Nothing to be afraid of. So yeah, you can draw an all clear during your turn, and of course everything will be fine. Or you could draw something far more menacing, like Murder of Crows. The murder descends upon you in a shroud of black feathers, their cries as piercing as their talons. Talons, even. All characters in this time must pass an evade roll or suffer one wound. So, yeah, like the video game, crows can just come out of you, come out, from the windows just at random almost in this game. So that's pretty cool. That's actually one of the things I'm most looking forward to, is that you have those, like you've got the famous, dog jumping out of the window scene from the first game. That can potentially happen anywhere. And the brilliant thing about this board game, what sold it to me through the Kickstarter campaign, and luckily what people have been saying now that they've gotten the game and they've played through it, is that this really is like a one-to-one board game port. So imagine Resident Evil 2 with all of those scripted scenes of like whenever, birds or crows come through the windows, or, dogs jump over fences, all of those things. Those things are now randomized. So you can kind of play the game infinitely now. I'll read out another one of these cards. I don't want to spoil anything, though, of course. So, unnatural strength. The undead snarl and grab at your clothes with frightening vigor, their claw-like hands locked in a deathly grip. For one round, characters cannot push zombie enemies after failing an evade roll. Ooh. So basically, you try to run past them, and they grab and hold tight, locking you in position. I'm guessing for the rest of the round, so that's bad. You always want to keep moving. Another thing with the tension deck in regards to the gameplay is that once you run out of cards on the tension deck, and you pull those, I think, every round, so once you run out of those cards, then it's game over, no matter what. Unless you get to the boss. If you get to the boss, then the timer goes away and you've got you just have to survive the boss. So here we go. We've got the dice there as well. So that's nice. One of them has got the umbrella symbol on it. So that's pretty awesome. Very cool. Yeah, good, competent dice. They are engraved, so they last far longer. And that's pretty much it for the base game. So if you want to stick around, which I highly suggest you do, then I'll go through the other hundreds of stuff. It might as well be 100 other things. There is a lot to get through. I went all in, so there's plenty more. So stick around and I'll show you the next bunch. Okay, box 2, here we go. This is the survival horror expansion. Not really sure what's in this one. Actually, let me pop the back. There you go. So you can see there, it's basically the other characters in the game. It's almost like the second half of the game, or no, I guess it's more just an elaboration of it. So you've got your IVs, which you find, later on in the game. I'm kind of like in between wanting to say like, oh, of course, you fight these at this place and everybody knows this character and what he did because the game is so old. But I'm also aware that the remake has just come out, so a lot of people are probably playing the game for the very first time. So, and I haven't even played it. I think it came out today, actually, whenever I'm filming. So I don't want to spoil anything for the brand new game either. So I'll have to kind of watch how I say things. But yeah, so you've got all your characters, your kind of sub-characters, I guess. More NPCs, I guess. And yeah, Spiders and Brad Vickers and the helicopter pilot from the... was he in... he's at least mentioned in Resident Evil 1. And then character cards for all of the new characters and monsters. So, let's see if I can get this open here. Okay, so we've got another rules booklet. Let's see what's in this. So, I probably should have looked through the booklet in the first box, but this is pretty much the same thing. It just gives you, all of the models and everything that's included. You also get, what is this? Yeah, all the new characters, new weapons. Ooh, new weapons. Flamethrower, Gatling gun, and the spark shot. I love, love, love the spark shot. It was so much fun in the game. Hopefully the new game, the remake, has got that as well. So what else have we got? We've got new mini bosses. Again, slight spoiler stuff there, maybe. Player versus player. That's a pretty big step up as well. So now you can play PvP. So the base game is either solo or co-op. So with this expansion, it gives you antagonists, so you can finally play competitive against others. And let me see. So these are scenarios. So you've got the map layout. So say you start here, I think, or maybe here, and then you've got to progress, and you got to hopefully find all the items that you need within the time allotted. Some key items, like, well, literally key items that you need to open doors. Probably objectives that you have to fulfill. Equipment and objectives, yeah. Yeah, so you've got to find the diamond key. And, if you get the diamond key, then you progress to the second floor, or whatever, you get the idea. And all along, certain locations are more dangerous than others, depending on their color. So, of course, red areas are much, much more dangerous. And you've got more scenarios and things like that. Basically, the purposes of this is that if you wanted to just play the game, the kind of base game, you can do that with the first box. But if you want to play the board game as if it really is a one-to-one version with everything included, of the original 1998 game, I think it was 98, then you kind of need to get all of this. You need to get all of this. Also, yes, I got scissors now. Yay! Because yeah, like you saw in the manual there, you have a floor 1 and floor 2, and it kind of opens up the game a little bit more instead of it just being sort of scenario based. And that's another big thing, is that you can actually play this entire game as a campaign, where you start off with that Mack truck slamming into your car and or sort of pushing your car off the road, I guess, with Claire and Leon, and you have to, find your way off the streets and get into the police station and, start your adventure, and you go through every single location, and all of the items are in similar places. Of course, you can change it up if you want. There might be rules actually in the book for doing that, item randomization. But yeah, you can play through the entire game as if it was the video game, with all the same locations, even the same layouts. Again, like that floor 1 and 2. I mean, that's going to be a familiar look for people who have played the original game. And of course, you'll run into the same characters and things as well. So yeah, these are just more of the same. Character cards and enemy cards. I didn't actually show off the enemy card beforehand. There you go. Let me try and not get gloss on it. There you go. So yeah, giant spiders. It's got a poisonous charge. During arachnid charge movement, the giant spider moves through any square occupied by another character. Any character contacted suffers the pushback and poison effects. Ooh. So it can sort of shove you around the map, it seems. Yeah, danger. Yeah. And we've got more equipment. Oh, it's pretty tightly packed in there, and it's slightly bent, so I'm not going to pop it out just yet, but you can see there the G-virus sample, so that's pretty cool. And, you've got more of your, more monsters, more NPCs. Who's that? What is her name? Birkin's wife, Anna Birkin, I think? Or maybe Anna's the wee girl. Melanie? Oh, I'm terrible with names, and I really shouldn't be for this game because I've played it so many times. And I do love the Resident Evil series. I mean, that's why I went all in for this thing. But yeah, there she is, anyway. Who also appears then later in Resident Evil 6? Yeah, Resident Evil 6. She appears all grown up and ready to fight evil herself. So, just models and cards and extended rules in that box. So, let's check out the next. Okay. I'm actually going to show you me taking off all the cellophane just to prove that this is a proper unboxing. Didn't just pick it up, and I've already looked through it all. So, there you go. That's my hard work for the day. So we've got the B files. Now, this may... No, it should be fine. It should be fine. I was thinking maybe spoiler territory, but it should be fine. As long as you don't know what that is, then... and I'm not going to elaborate or anything, but... it's not really a spoiler or anything, and... I don't know, I really hope that in the remake video game, they do have the B files. Basically, once you've beaten the game, you can go back and play it again. Except it's much more difficult, and there's a new enemy that is chasing you throughout the entire game. And oh boy, is it scary. So yeah, that's the guy there, the T00 or T00 or Mr. X, I think some people call Although I think that's unofficial. I think the canon name is T00 or T00 or T00. So you've got some more maps and everything. You can see there. I really like the layout actually of this rule book. It's making me really excited to play. You know, so you've got your map and then you've got your track. So it's kind of like if you go down in the sewers, you're not going to be fighting the same enemies as you would, you know, up above on the street. You know, you're going to be fighting like spiders and you're not going to be fighting crows or anything in the sewers. I would hope not. So because of that, you know, the terror track, or I keep calling it the terror track, it's the tension deck. The tension deck is slightly different. So let me see. I think this is the police station. Oh no, this literally is the sewers. So scent of fear. Yeah, so it's more zombies and because this is kind of this will be your second playthrough of the game, you would probably use this one. So you beat the normal game, and maybe using the expansion that I just showed to get the full feel, and maybe some of the other things that are still coming up, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna play again, but you want to do it on the B files, the B version. It's kind of like an old cassette tape. You know, you flip to the B side and you get even more stuff. That's the way the Resident Evil 2 game worked. So yeah, so you play through the game again, except things are slightly different. Maybe enemy placement's a little bit different. And of course you've got that guy chasing after you now, which is a lot of fun and extremely stressful. Stressful in a good way though. It's very good. So with this one, you do actually get more tiles. Just like the video game, whenever you go to the B side, you do actually find a few new locations. Not that many more, but enough to kind of make things a little bit more interesting. And it's definitely worth playing the B side. So that's pretty cool. And then more models, minis, and stuff. Yeah, you can see like there's a nice plastic covering and stuff. Yes, ooh, it's very glossy, isn't it? So yeah, you've got more models and everything, and yeah, those cards are quite bent, even more bent than the last ones. Yeah, that's not good. Let me pop this open and show you something. So here's the guy himself. So this guy is the reason why everything changes in the second scenario in the B files. This guy makes your life a living hell, and it is extremely fun. And then he has a second version of himself. Let's pop this out. Nah, I guess the cards aren't too bad. Not too... a little bent. It's definitely a tight fit to get it in there. So what have we got? We've got the Master Key and Breaker. Very glossy paper again. And we've got the shotgun. There you go. So lots of classic, Resident Evil 2, and even Resident Evil 1 items and everything. And ooh, there we go. In this board game overall, man, these things are really jammed in there. My hands are a little sore today, so I'm not gonna try and pull this thing out too much. If I can't get it, I'm just gonna leave it. But there you go. And so you've got your Tyrant cards. So basically, that's this guy here. So all the cards that introduce him and add him into the tension deck. So now instead of just zombies and crows and spiders and things like that. In the tension deck, enemies that you can draw. Every once in a while, randomly, you can get this guy here. Oh yeah, there's liquors as well in this game. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. So, there is one of them there. I think that's actually like a super liquor or something. So, that's pretty awesome. So, of course, you can get those spawning in. Or, again, I should stress, like, the really cool thing about this is that they can just, like, show up. It's like, yeah, you can have a dog burst out of a window, or you could potentially have a liquor burst out of a window. And with the T00 guy, T00, he, in the B files, he can burst through walls and stuff. And if you've played the game, then, you kind of know where he's going to come from. In this board game, he can potentially burst out of any wall at any time. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. And, yeah, it should spice things up. Okay, so let's move on to the sort of... we've got one more kind of like official big expansion, so I'll do that. Okay, so this is a big one. Well, it's a little expansion, but I think for a lot of people are going to be excited about this. And I'm trying not to show off the box too much before I actually show you what it's all about. But this is pretty exciting. And this is one of the things that I was... because it's a Kickstarter, so you're hoping like, oh, well, if they get enough money, they can get to this goal and to this goal and stuff. And I was hoping, oh, come on, I wanna get to this thing. Boom. So they included the Fourth Survivor expansion. Now, what this is basically if you beat the game really, really, really well, I think it's something like, you have to beat the game in under 3 hours to unlock part of it. I think you've got to beat it in 2 hours to unlock the second part. You can't use healing sprays. I think you can use maybe a few green herbs. It's very, very difficult. And yeah, but if you play it well and, it's almost like unlocking achievements, except, in like modern day time, except whenever you unlocked an achievement, you unlocked an entire mode and extra characters in the video game. So that's something that they need to bring back. So there you go. So the big awesome thing about this is that it not only introduces Hunk and the entire expansion, the game mode, where you have to survive and start in the sewers and make your way up to the very top to get to the, get to the chopper. You get Hunk, and you also get Tofu. And look at Tofu. That's right, he is just a block of actual tofu. And he's got a little gloved hand here, another wee gloved hand there with a knife. And yeah, you would have to actually beat the game with just a knife as a stick of tofu. It was not easy. And now I get to play it in board game form. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, I'm not exactly sure, because, this is an unboxing, it's not going over the rules or anything. But I think you could even play this, you could probably even play this in co-op, this mode. Which is not something that you could do in the original version. So, looking through the rule book again. Oh, very nice artwork, that's pretty nice there. Yeah, so I'm very impressed actually by the layout of these booklets. They seem very comprehensive, Straight away, it lists all the new rules and the extreme battle mode and everything. Extreme battle mode. Actually, wasn't that the other version? I think there was another gameplay. Isn't that wonderful? That's worth the money alone. It's so ridiculous, but that's why I love it so much. And you even got the wee mini. I'll show the mini off in a minute. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's great. And of course, yeah, the level and everything that you've got to get through. Wow, big levels. Big levels here. Yeah, as I was going to say, there was another mode actually in the DualShock version of the Resident Evil 2 game, which opened up another mode, which was more like Mercenaries. You know, what everybody knows is the Mercenaries mode now. So I think that might be what it was called, though, the Extreme Battle mode, or Extreme Battle. So it might actually include both of those. Huh, that's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, you know, it is all about getting the absolute most out of the game, out of the original game. You know, trying to include absolutely every single element. And you get some more new tiles with this. I should point out as well that, yeah, these are expansions. So if you bought it, you know, in retail, then you'd have to go out and have to find all of these things individually. This is all from a single Kickstarter that I went all in with, and so far I'm very happy with it. I was iffy about the tile art, and I'm still not that happy about it. It's very dark. I mean, it's very dark. But, you know, I do have the camera lights set up. You know, a couple of like stage lights that I use. And they look a bit better with some good lighting, but man, they're dark still. Like, it is kind of annoying, and it's a little bit of a letdown. But, I mean, as long as they function okay, and I've heard the gameplay, like I said before, is very good. So you've got your character sort of, what do you call these? I guess your recorders. So you've got your health and everything, and more great wee pictures of the two new characters. Some new tiles as well for explosives. I guess you put those down somewhere? I don't know. I can't really remember. And you've got a couple new cards. So there you go. There's Hunk. Looking all hunky as usual. Yeah, these wee things here, they're not great for keeping the cards in good condition. They're so tightly jam-packed in there that I'm finding that quite a few of them are bent. And new equipment, you've got the bombs. And here we go. Moment everybody's been waiting for, right? Hunk and Tofu. Now, in the Kickstarter, Hunk was originally a different model than this one. And I thought the original model was fantastic. And I went, yes, I want that. And I pledged money for it. And then after the Kickstarter ended, they had changed it up. And they give us a different model instead. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. He was actually doing a pose from, I think, Resident Evil 5. No. It was a pose from Resident Evil 6. Yeah, I think 6. So it's like, nobody wants a Resident Evil 6 character pose or character model in Resident Evil 2. We want Resident Evil 2. So they kind of, without actually telling anybody, they ended up changing the model for a third time, and that's the final version, I guess. So I'll zoom in, and hopefully you can pick that up, okay? So that's, well, it's better than I was expecting, I guess. I was expecting the really crappy model. I really didn't like the other one. And there you go, there's Tofu. He's literally just a block of plastic with like a knife. Yeah, that's fantastic. There's no plastic seams either on these guys, which is really nice. Oh, a tiny little bit on Hunk, but not too bad. And they're pre-assembled and stuff as well, which I suppose most people expect now from board games. I grew up with Games Workshop stuff, you know, like Warhammer and all that. So would have to put all the models together myself. So the next thing to look at are the sort of mini expansions. These are the sort of, you don't necessarily need them, but if you want a complete, absolute complete set of all the characters and everything in Resident Evil 2, the video game, transferred into board game, then yeah, these are the ones that you want to take a look at. Okay, so we have our retro pack. Now this is very, very optional. This, as far as I know, just changes up all of the cards. Yeah, changes up all of the cards to make it look like the artwork from the video game. So that's sort of, you know, classic 1998 sort of look. Yeah, it actually says here for 1-4 players, and it takes 90 to 120 minutes to play through. That's in relation to the base board game. So let's take a look at this thing here. Love the artwork. I mean, it's just a screenshot of, you know, the original artwork for the game, but that's fine. Okay. So much stuff. So much stuff to get through. Okay. That's not fun to have. It's not fun to take out something that you've just paid for, that you've been really excited for, and it's sort of damaged and crumpled and everything. That kind of sucks. Okay, so what have we got in here? We've got what the retro pack includes. So you've got all of the weapons. The tension cards have been redone, I guess. Enemy cards, character cards. Yeah, pretty much everything, actually. So that's pretty cool. You get more tiles. Oh, you get the classic version of some of the locations. So I think earlier on I showed off the computer room. It looked a little bit more modern, you know. But there you go. There's the classic version of it with yeah, those old big old keyboards and stuff that are completely not ergonomic at all. Trying to see other locations. I recognize kind of all of them, but oh, that's near the end of the game. That's the sort of walkway to the it's like the heat and cold kind of section, or at least there's like a cold section of the game. Yeah, cool. Oh, the bus. That's cool. It's only in the video game for like 10 seconds, but it's a full transfer. It's 1-to-1, so you get everything. Okay, so what have we got here? Well, straight off the bat, we've got a damaged card. So that's not great. That's not great. Yeah, these are the tension cards. The artwork is a little bit more basic. I actually kind of like it like that. It looks a little bit nicer to me, I think. And slightly pixelated text. So they changed the text to make it a little bit more pixelated. Okay. I mean, it is the retro pack, I guess. Yeah, these are all tension cards. Flickering lights. Overhead, the light... Flickering lights. Overhead, the lights burst to life and blink out again. Your aim ruined. Damn! How can a police building have so much poor wiring? Discard this card to force a player to reroll one or more dice during an attack. Other abilities cannot be used to reroll this attack. Huh. So I guess it's like your character gets temporary epilepsy or something. I know, it's just a light that blinds you for a second. Yeah, you can see the artwork a little bit there. But yeah, I think the artwork on the box is actually bigger than the cards themselves, so it looks like you're kind of getting this, oh yeah, this thing that looks just like the video game. It's a bit smaller. I mean, the cards are the same size as the other ones, but I don't know. Does that look like the equipment card? The equipment slot in the video game? I guess. I mean, it's still got to be functional within the aspects of the game. I guess it's not too bad. You got your first aid sprays. That's pretty cool. Red herbs, bow gun, grenade launcher. You got your magnum. You got ink ribbons, extremely important, which you actually use in this game. I think in the base game, without the expansion stuff, you... How did I have these? Let's put in... Oh, like that. Yeah, in the base game, you have... I think the ink ribbons give you, like a rest. They're like rest stops, so you can, like, reheal or something like that. So, so that's how they work there. If you're playing the campaign version, then I think they're supposed to act more like the actual game. So you have to collect the ink ribbons, then you've got to get to the typewriter, and then you can save your progress. So if you die or something, then I think you've got a certain amount of times that you can come back to that typewriter. Also, I should say that ammunition in this game is extremely important, just like the video game. You do not want to, and you cannot afford to run around just shooting all the zombies, because that's just not going to work out. And in the campaign, item management is going to be even more of an issue. So anyway, that's that section done. No new models or anything. You wouldn't need them. I mean, all the models are based off the video game, the retro version of it anyway. So, okay, so I'm gonna start going through the kind of even more optional things now. Some of these I think are Kickstarter exclusives. This one at least is, because it says Kickstarter exclusive. So, that's what it means. Okay, let's see what's in here. It says models. I have no idea what that means, though. Just, I tend to buy things on Kickstarter. Well, I shouldn't say buy. I pledge, right? You don't buy things on Kickstarter. It's not a shop. Everybody keeps telling me that. But I keep buying things off Kickstarter. Yeah, so... Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so it's alternative models. So, again, once you've beaten Resident Evil 2... yeah, there we go. So once you've beaten Resident Evil 2, you can... oh no, do you actually have to beat it? Maybe you don't. Maybe there's a certain way of doing it during the first... at the very beginning of the game. Anyway... I'm not going to spoil anything. It involves Brad Vickers. You know what I'm talking about. You do that, and then you can get alternative costumes for Claire and Leon. So there's 6-shooter Claire. That's pretty cool. And does she have the jacket? Yes, she does. Now, what did it say? It's like Born for Life or something life. On the back of her jacket. Yeah, it doesn't actually have the words printed on the model, but it's a pretty small model. I mean, you can see there. It's pretty small. It's not like, I guess like Warhammer Standard or Mantic Games sort of size. Definitely a little bit smaller. More along the lines of like Zombicide, I guess. Although I will say the models are significantly better. There's a lot of good detail. Jeez, isn't it great that we live in a time where models like are constantly coming out like better and better, like better quality and everything? And yeah, because the original game had a lot of different zombie models, and of course, you're doing a board game. You don't want. You'd like to have a lot of different model positions and looks and everything, but it's expensive to do. So if you're buying the base game, then it's cheaper for everybody if you don't include every single model. So every single like model and texture and everything that was in the actual video game. So this is why they did this, and they made it an optional purchase. So so you get some of the other models that are in the video game, like these creepy guys who don't have skin, but still they don't have skin and they're undead, but they still at least have their underwear on. So that's always good. That's a very handy thing to have. What else? You've got crawling zombies. Let me see. Which have no actual change in the mechanics. They don't play any differently. But they look friggin' cool, and they've got like guts coming out. Yeah. And of course, there's certain sections in the game, where in the video game where you really do come across crawling zombies. So if you want to experience the full game, video game, and board game form, you gotta get this. Yeah, and then some other alternative costumes like Wounded Leon. Oh, Ada Wong with a crossbow. Claire Redfield with a grenade launcher. Gangsta Leon, very 90s, and yeah, and you've got some zombies like literally trying to escape the box, just like trying to grab me as I'm playing around with this stuff. Cool. Okay, so next one is everybody's favorite, very easily beatable boss if you know what you're doing. The Giant Alligator. Now, I've heard this really is giant. And I've got my, let me see here. Give me Claire. Okay, so we've got Claire with the grenade launcher. So I'm going to set her here. Now, this is for the purposes of seeing exactly how big this giant alligator is. One would hope it's giant. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. Oh. I wasn't expecting that. So, yeah, the giant alligator, whenever you run into him in the sewers in the original game, that's not actually, that entire encounter isn't in the base board game. So if you want, again, this boyo in the game, then you've got to buy this expansion. And that's the entire point of this expansion, is just to get the giant alligator and get to fight him. But yeah, there you go. So he's got his own little area that you have to fight him in. So that's cool. And of course the tension deck and everything. Yeah, so it's basically adds another boss to the game, or mini boss. Well, I don't know, it depends. Depends how you take care of him. It could be a boss, who knows. And more tiles. So these are actually pretty good. They're a little bit more lighter as well. You can actually pick up the details a bit more. Even the door, hold on. Even the door and the stairs are lit more. It's almost like somebody went back and decided, oh, well, we've kind of messed these things up. Nice bit of light there, too. Some of them are still quite dark. That's cool. Oh, that's the save room. That's right. Save room down in the sewers. So yeah, this includes more areas as well. So if again, if you want the entire experience, and oh, already I can see bent cards in this thing. Why did they shove in the cards like that? card's mangled, actually. Yeah, that's not great. That sucks. I mean, it kind of bend back easy enough, but I don't want to open up a game and have, you know, a bunch of damaged cards and stuff. Yeah, that sucks. I should also mention that the card quality is pretty good. I'm sure nobody's listening to me at the moment. Everybody's just got their eyes feasting on this bad boy. Now, I'm sure my camera is picking up him. And I have to say, he is very well done. And the logo on the back. Yeah, cool. It kind of makes me feel like a kid because it kind of is just like a big plastic alligator. But yeah, but it's got a good amount of detail and everything on it. Nice texture and everything. Sort of like a weird plastic that they use. It's like almost like got a little bit of rubber or something in it. Maybe like a little silicone in the injection. So there you go. Yeah. So my hands are all weird today. So there you go. Just like Resident Evil 2. Okay, well, there you go. There's Giant Alligator. That's freaking awesome. That's cool. And yeah, like I said, you get tiles, and you get another couple of scenario stuff for it. Either missions, or you can, I think so, I hope so, that you can add this to the campaign mode as well, because I want start to finish of the Resident Evil 2 experience, and Alligator is surely part of that experience. Okay, let's get to the next stuff. I know more, right? Okay, so very similar to the Alligator encounter, there is an even more obtuse encounter in the game, where you fight a giant moth. Now, originally in the Kickstarter, they were not going to have, the moth in the game, simply because you can actually play through the entire game and not fight the moth. The moth is completely optional in the video game. I wonder if they're going to introduce him in the remake. Huh. But in the video game, anyway, yeah, he was totally optional. So they thought, you know, like, who's gonna care about a giant moth? Well, the fans made it known very well that they wanted the giant moth included. And during the Kickstarter, a cult actually started up. And everybody would run around saying, "Praise the moth! Praise the moth!" So it was pretty cool. Yeah, Murder from Above. Oh, it also introduces, during the Kickstarter as well, people weren't too happy that there was no crow models, that the crows were an actual event, which I think actually works really well because, you know, the crows in the game, it wasn't like, they weren't like any other enemy and you could kind of run past them. They were more of an event, you know, it was like they would burst through the windows and then, you know, get you kind of thing, or they would circle around an area and make it a little bit more difficult. So it was almost like an obstacle more than an enemy. But people still wanted models for them, and prefer, well, not so much preferred, but also wanted them as an enemy type. So this indeed comes with all of that. So you have the giant moth, praise the moth, and the crows, which are now models feasting on the flesh of a dead zombie, which is always nice to see. And, oh yeah, and of course the moth, who is itself a mini boss, I guess. So you've got the entire mini boss encounter now. So another scenario and another boss. And yeah, like I said, you can use the crows as both an event card so they burst through the windows. But you can also use them as an enemy. So maybe the crows just show up and now you've got to shoot them instead of them bursting through and causing havoc and leaving you with some negative modifiers. Now you can actually fight them. Or do both. I'm not sure if it's optional actually now with this expansion, but you could house rule it, so you could have them as enemies that you have to kill, knife or shoot them or whatever, or as just an event, that randomly happens whenever you're running around the map. So there's the crows, and a lot of nice detail for such a small model. Actually, that's a lot of detail. So very cool, very nice. Okay, and so you get 4 of those, and then, oh baby, whew, and you get your moth. And I was, I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I was part of the moth cult. All hail moth. There he is. There's the moth. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Cool, and of course you get cards for that too. Boy, I'm exhausted doing this. Okay, so I've got a couple more things. I might skip some of them just because they're extra models and just more of the same that we've already seen. But yeah, maybe three more boxes, maybe 4 more mini boxes. So yeah, this video's ended up pretty long, huh? Okay, well, the giant moth managed to get me when I was putting it away. I've managed to cut my finger pretty bad, so that sucks. But we have to go on, don't we? This is my first unboxing video and I've already cut my damn finger half off. Okay, so this is more basically in the game, you fight the main boss, and there's I think like 4, maybe 5 versions of him, forms. So if you want to play against all the different forms, then you've got this here. It comes with another double-sided tile, so that's pretty cool. So that's where you fight the boss. Also included, is ooh, wow, oh, he is big. Actually, I'm not going to bother taking it out. I think you get the gist by now. So you can see him in there. He's pretty big. And of course you get more cards, and enemy cards are, like for him. And actually the bosses play a little bit differently. They don't just get an enemy card. They have like a deck of cards that form the different actions. So, the different things that you can remember in the video game, like different lunges and maybe like a jump back, attack kind of thing, or, to get out of the way, and then, a couple of different lunges, and I'm trying to think, does he use like a tongue or something maybe? He might do something like that as well. So yeah, that's a pretty big guy in there too. And you get the other version of him, actually probably the most famous version, where he's sort of half human still, but he's got that eyeball bulging out of his shoulder. Very iconic. So yeah, that's another one done. And again, in this booklet you get more information about the boss and everything, how he moves. Yeah, the tiles. Yeah, we got that. And then 2 more mini scenarios for how to fight him, or where to fight him even. There you go. See? Awesome. Okay, and the final version of this guy is, he's just a big old monster, really. And again, it's getting kind of... The video is pretty long here, so I'll just show you the back of the box there. There you go, that's what you get. I know it's an unboxing. Okay, it's an unboxing. I guess I'll open it. But yeah, you get all this. Yeah. Once I open it, you just see the exact same thing as this. You understand, right? I could just show pictures of the thing, but it's an unboxing video. I've got to do the unboxing thing, right? Nice bit of artwork actually on all these boxes as well. Pretty good. Not much detail, I will say. Again, even in this. Oh no, the sellotape's on the manual. That's not too bad. So what have we got here? Oh wow, this thing's... Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I opened this now. Yeah, so, more about the encounters, specifically of this guy. Beautiful headshot. So I can go to Hollywood and star in some good movies and stuff. Maybe they could even make a good Resident Evil movie for once. Oh, burned. Yeah, I don't know about those movies. I find them kind of entertaining, but at the same time. I'm also kind of amazed that Capcom lets them keep making them. Because I don't think they do good things for the franchise. I don't think they get people invested in wanting to want to check out the games and everything like that. I mean, sure, if they want to check out Resident Evil 6, then yeah, the movies are a pretty good representation of that. But apart from the others, not really. So, more cards. Cool. So yeah, this is the final version. You also get another variant of Birkin as the monster. So that's sort of that's actually during the tram fight. He comes at you with a pipe, as most monsters do. Just using a pipe. Okay, holy crap, look at this thing. Oh my god. I mean, what can you say? It's just a mass of flesh and gore. Bah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And of course, this is totally optional. But if you want to play the whole thing from start to finish with every single enemy and boss fight, every single location, then you gotta get it all. And Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, so yeah, I really wanted to get everything. It's also one of the few games that I've played and like really got good at. I did actually unlock everything from it, and I played it over and over again until I was able to beat it in like 2 hours. So, okay, so we've got 2 more little mini boxes. Okay, so these are absolutely completely optional. These are just the 2 3D model kits. So if you've got all the tokens in the base game and everything and the expansions and all that jazz. But if you want to make that board sort of, 3-dimensional and pop out, then you spend your hard-earned money on a box of plastic doors. Yeah, that's what this is. But this is Resident Evil. And we all know that in Resident Evil, doors aren't just doors. Doors are iconic. Look at this. See? Look at that. Isn't that great? That was totally worth everything that I spent on it. Yeah, so there you go. There's your doors. You see? More doors. There's a whole thing of doors in here. It's just doors. Okay. Oh, shit. There you go. Boom. Anyway, yeah. Starting to kind of lose my mind a little bit. Maybe from blood loss from the giant moth. Yeah, more doors. You've got your mechanical doors, for the place later on in the game, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody. It all opens and shuts. Yeah, they're very nice. Shaft Type M. Even have printed words on them. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, come on, you gotta have the iconic, swinging doors of Resident Evil. So that's cool. Just a box of doors. Okay, so last but certainly not least is the terrain upgrade set, which is, as far as I know, it's more of a item upgrade set. So just three-dimensional versions of some of the items. Some of the most iconic items in the series, though. That's why I wanted to get this. Man, I don't know how people survive unboxing videos, like doing it for a living. The amount of cuts and paper cuts and my hands are red from opening all this stuff. I don't know how people do it professionally. That's a tough business. Okay, just throw it there. So what have we got? We have. Come on. Oh no, falling all over the place. Okay, what have we got? We've got just corpses. Just corpses. Yeah, we've got a lot of just dead corpses. You can see there. So that's cool. So in the game, there'll be certain locations, and just like in the video game, every once in a while, you pass a corpse and you've got nothing to worry about. But once in a while, one of those corpses can jump out and get you. And because Resident Evil, the board game, is pretty much just a randomized version of the video game, any of those places where you pass through that has it's just dead corpse laying on it, they could potentially get up and do something. They increase the risk factor of certain areas as well. So maybe they don't get up, but they distract you. So you've got your attention focused on one of them, on just this dead body, and then you walk past it, eyeing it up, and it makes you lose focus and you get jumped by something else. Okay, so the very last thing of this set is, of course, the typewriter. So there you go. I'll try and put on my good non-destroyed hand. There you go. See? That's pretty good. It's just a wee typewriter sitting on a desk. That's cool. Yeah, and it just looks just the same as the video game. It's maybe not the best model. It's a little gloopy, just slightly gloopy. Not an awful lot of detail to it either. This was another fan requested thing. So I get the impression that they maybe sped it up a little. And of course, what typewriter would be... And of course, you can't have the typewriter. And of course, you can't use the typewriter without the ink ribbon. So I can start going around collecting the wee ink ribbons now as well, in physical form. So you have these all, sitting on the map and stuff, and with all your dead bodies and stuff, and yeah, it just brings out the game a little bit more. Neat. Well, there you go. That's my first unboxing done. I think it went okay. I mean, mostly okay. It was kind of fun. I don't have much else to unbox, so these videos will probably be, this style of video is going to be far and in between, I'm sure. But the board game, it looks good. It looks better than I first thought it was going to be. I did have a cheeky look at the very start. Whenever I first got the boxes, the game, I opened up just the core box just to make sure that everything was okay, and out of curiosity, I will admit, I was very apprehensive, I guess, about the tiles, the board game tiles. They're so dark. I don't know why they decided to do that. I'm not the only one who's complaining about them. There are plenty of people online and forums and stuff that, like Board Game Geek and everything, all saying the same thing. It's not that big of a thing to change I don't know why they did that. They should have, whenever they got the prototypes back, they should have noticed that it was too dark. The artwork was barely visible on them. So that's a bit of a shame. I think the artwork on the cards could be a little bit better. It's certainly serviceable. It's good. It's nice looking, but I don't know. It's not really my style. It's a little too smoothed out, I felt. But yeah, apart from that, I'm pretty happy with it. I think the models have actually all turned out really well. A lot of detail, which is hard to do on models that small. And this company in particular, SFG, yeah, they're not known for the best quality models, but these are definitely a bump up. They also did the Dark Souls board game as well, which had very mixed reviews. A lot of people really liked it, a lot of people didn't. So that's something to check out as well. I don't own it myself, so I can't do another unboxing, but yeah, interesting to read about that one. But yeah, for Resident Evil 2, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you've got any comments about what went wrong with mine or how to improve it or whatever, let me know. And yeah, that's about it. I'm sure at some point I'll be back doing another unboxing. I don't know what I'll unbox, maybe a video game, maybe another board game. I've got a couple more Kickstarter board games showing up. I've also got a Kingdom Death Monster still sealed, so that's kind of a big deal. I went all in that, which because I lost my mind over Christmas, and I pledged everything for that. So I have that, so I could potentially open all of those up, which would probably take like 10 hours, no joke. But yeah, I'll be back, I'm sure, with some sort of unboxing in the future. And yeah, check out my other videos if you're here just for the unboxing. I do gameplay videos and things like that, and the odd vlog and stuff like that. I've also got, since it's the new year, I've got some more sort of news shows coming out and stuff like that. Plenty to watch, and hope you enjoy it. So thanks for watching anyway, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.